Hi, this is Mohsin I'm the founder of the Lollipops Crowns Music and Arts Initiative, which was founded under my U.S. Fulbright scholarship in Morocco. Um, this year, we were leading the workshop at an orphanage in Kashmir, which is where my family is from. In particular, we're working with the children of the CHINAR orphanage, leading workshops again in story writing, music composition, music playing, filmmaking, direction, and acting. For those of you that are unfamiliar with the Lollipops and Crowns Initiative, it seeks to empower the youth in disadvantaged communities through the arts. Creating avenues of expression through the arts empowers the children, it gives them confidence, teaches them skills, and it also bridges cultures together. In effect, this initiative is all about cultural diplomacy and arts diplomacy.
Can you see everything?
Accompanying me were my brother Mohi and a fellow Kashmiri American, Murtaza Masoodi. They, along with a local Kashmiri named Zahid Qureshi, were instrumental in helping this project get off the ground with the Chinar orphanage. Kashmir has usually been seen within the context of the war. Kashmir has been a disputed territory for over half a century between two nuclear armed rivals, India and Pakistan. And since 1989, since an armed uprising, the people have suffered between 40,000 and 70,000 deaths and thousands of disappearances and so on, and the economy has been eroded and ravaged by this conflict. This project wasn't about politics or the conflict, it was about working with the youth and exposing not only just the community but the international community to the humanity of Kashmiri people, and that humanity has been marginalized by this conflict. Within Kashmir, be you Muslim, Hindu, Sikh, or Christian, there are people, there are mothers or fathers, there's artists, musicians, intellectuals, writers, poets, doctors, lawyers, people that believe in democracy and human rights, and people that also don't believe in democracy and human rights. There's people that just want to go to school, get a job, and take care of their families. And this is the context of the situation that I entered when I started embarking on this arts project that was about empowering the youth through the arts. And in such an environment, with such socioeconomic challenges, it was about finding hope and creating spaces for expression and creativity and free thinking and hope within the arts. So the first part of the project, for about 2 days a week, the workshops first focused on music. So getting the kids comfortable with expression through learning how to read and write basic rhythm notation, and also my brother Mohi, who's a lead singer, guitarist, and songwriter for Zerobridge, our band, he was teaching them basics on the guitar. So I was focusing on the rhythm and teaching them how to compose their own rhythms on paper and how to play them. And Mubashir was introducing them to guitar, and then we would play concerts for them at the orphanage. So within our 2 months together, we had to develop several rules, and the first rule was don't be afraid to make mistakes. They're living in a society where people are afraid to think outside the box and make mistakes. So by the end of it, they weren't afraid to write their own rhythm notations and learn how to read and write music. So once those barriers came down in terms of making mistakes, they became more comfortable expressing their emotions through playing the instruments. So first they learned how to write and read rhythm notation, and then they were learning how to express how they were feeling through music. So this was kind of the first stage in building that kind of creative link with one another and trust, and creating that space for expression that they so desperately need.
Happy? Okay, cool.
And the instrument that I brought from the States is called a cajon, and it's a percussive instrument. My brother brought his guitar, and that's kind of all we had to work with, but that was all we needed. So 2 days a week was music, and the other day or 2 days a week was the film making and story writing, which is perhaps the most important part. Through these workshops, the kids actually learned how to write their own stories and how to film them on camera, and we also taught them animation. So the first kind of exercise we did was one group of kids was actually taking pictures on camera in stop-time animation, and another group of kids was practicing how to be comfortable with expressing any type of emotion they wanted in front of a camera. So one group was taking the pictures that you're seeing, and the other group was practicing acting, essentially. practicing what to do with their hands and their face, and kind of exploring emotions inside of them. The next phase in the project, and most crucial phase, was working with the oldest group of kids and getting them to think about their future. And most of these kids from disadvantaged communities have never been challenged to think about their future. So I asked them the following questions, and they came up with the following films that were written, directed, and starring them. So one group of kids was learning how to film and shoot, and the other group of kids was writing, and another group was acting. And all the questions dealt with how to make your society better in your future, because you're smart enough, you're talented enough, and you're important to your society. So what do you want to change? And they came up with, for example, this film that you're seeing, these clips that you're seeing, was about pollution and making Kashmir cleaner and restoring Kashmir to its glory and its purity. This next film that was written and directed by the kids was about female education. So it was about a girl living in poverty who was never encouraged to go to school because her family had to work all the time, and her parents passing away, and then eventually fighting for her dreams and becoming a doctor.
It's okay, it's okay.
The third film we did that the kids came up with was about corruption. And again, this is to their credit and their brilliance that they are identifying these issues and trying to get the world to see what these issues are. They encounter corruption in the education system. Rich families with rich parents who bribe teachers, and basically the rest of the class suffer because they're not able to have an equal playing field to pursue their dreams. So this story was about saying no to corruption.
Okay, good. Action.
कुछ नहीं आता है इसको जीरो पर आप लीजिए का बेटा बहुत अच्छा पढ़ने में बहुत 100% इसको
3 action.
Say no to corruption.
Very good. Just now. 1 2 3 action.
सर क्या बात है सर बच्चे पीछे से दौड़ रहे और कह रहे हैं नो टू करप्शन
हम कुछ ही करप्शन कर रहे हैं
उन्हें हमें देख लिया
Very good. Very good.
The fourth and final film that we did together was about religious tolerance and politics. So the kids came up with a story about, again, another social issue that they feel needs to be changed, and it dealt with politics and religion and different religious groups bickering amongst each other and ignoring the social ills that everyone faces regardless of what your religious identity is.
1 2 3 action.
Yes, what's your problem?
Action.
Now I have a message for all the ministers that all of the religions are suffering. It doesn't matter if you are Sikh or Muslim, but we have to see that problem is same for all of them. So solution must be equal and beneficial for all of them.
मैंने देखा कि लोगों को एक ही प्रॉब्लम, हमें दूसरे के मजहबों पे नहीं लड़ना चाहिए. हम दो आपस में भाई हैं, फिर हम क्यों झगड़ते?
They have all religions one problem.
One problem.
Yeah.
तो हम मिलजुल कर काम करेंगे. क्या आप मेरे साथ हो?
Oh yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So again, in addition to the music workshops, in 2 months the kids wrote, directed, filmed, and acted in their own short films, and they finished 4 movies, which is incredible. And these kids were absolutely brilliant. And I also donated the cajon percussive instrument and a flip camera to the orphanage so they can continue with their work. So on the last day, the kids surprised us with their own talent show, and they were performing their own songs, their own skits, their own dances, their own stories, to show us how much they learned and how comfortable they've gotten with the project and how much they grew as a result of the project. And it was incredible to see. These kids really transformed, and their creativity and brilliance was already there, but the project kind of pushed them a little more to express it. By the end of it, we became a family, and we may have inspired them in some small way, but they inspired us in a myriad of different ways, and forever grateful for the help from everyone that participated in the project.